This is part 33 of making a universal electric start kit for any dirt bike. In my last video, I was sick and I talked some concepts. And in this video, we got the first concept printed and a working prototype. And I also continued designing some more parts for outside the bike. If you're unfamiliar, essentially what I'm doing is I'm putting a mechanism inside the bike that replaces the standard ratcheting kickstart mechanism. And this mechanism essentially makes it so your kickstart shaft can turn 360 degrees and it can drive the motor in one direction and then it can release and let the motor keep spinning, basically turning it into a standard starter. And this is how it turned out. I think for a prototype and just being out of plastic, this actually works pretty well, but I would like to change some of the tolerances and make it a little bit better. And the part I'm most happy about is that it'll feel just like a regular e-start. Very happy with the compactness of this design though. As for on the outside of the bike, I have to figure out a way to gear down my motor. The starter motor I'm using is actually meant for like a 700cc quad, and I did this because I know certain parts of my mechanism are probably going to be very inefficient. So I need to make up for that with a little more power. And the most compact way to get that gear reduction I was talking about is probably a worm gear and a worm wheel and a shaft with another spur gear that goes to my motor. Now this is the product of lots of thinking and lots of polls, and I would go more in depth on why I chose this one, but we can do that some other time. One of the main reasons I did it this way though was because I could use mostly all off-the-shelf parts, which in the prototyping phase saves me so much money. And if I want this kit to be around $500 to $600, then I need every little edge I can get. After I figured out all this stuff, I decided to make some little enclosures for these because they need to be sealed and lubricated. So now that I made those, I'm going to get all this stuff printing and see how it looks all together. I'm also going to be starting a Patreon in the next few days, and that's going to be to help with prototyping costs and just helping me make my content. So keep an eye out for that. I can't wait.